So the next project that I'm going to show you is how to make a slab box. To make a slab, you should have your clay nice and wedged and ready to work with. So the first thing that I do to start off making a slab is to just slam the clay onto a corner of a table and just to spread out those pieces. So I'm just going to do that a couple times. The clay starting to flatten out and make it really nice to roll out later. So once you get it started, you can grab a rolling pin and just start to roll out the clay. The key to a good slab is nice, even thickness again. That's going to be key. You can roll it and flip it over a couple times to try and get that really nice, even thickness. You want your clay to be about 7 or 8 millimeters thick, maybe half an inch, and that's when you know you'll have a good slab to work with. Alright, that's pretty good. So the next thing that I want to do is take a little metal rib. This is going to prepare the surface of the slab, get rid of any canvas texture, and really align the particles of the clay and make sure it dries nice and evenly. So I'm going to do this to both sides. So in one direction, I'm just gliding the edge of the rib around, over top the surface of the clay. Use your palms to flip the clay over. That'll prevent it from stretching out or getting any finger marks in the surface of the clay. Now that your slab's prepared, you're going to want to cut out the shape of your box. I'm going to use a pin tool and just a block of wood as my guide for how I should cut my shapes out. So I'm going to start by cutting the base of my slab box, just like that. I'm going to go around the other way. These pieces I won't need, so I'll get rid of them. Take off this. I'm just going to grab a ruler. To keep my lines nice and straight, it's nice to use a ruler. You're still going to have to cut off the thickness of your slabs on 2 of these sides, because when you flip these up and they start to form the box, in order to get the other one to fit on top of there, they need to have that thickness cut away. So I'm going to cut away the thickness of the clay from either side on just 2 of the sides. The next thing is to cut the height of your box. So you want the height to be the same all the way around. You could use your block again and just use that to cut the height. If you wanted it to be a different height from the block that you've used, you could also measure with a ruler. So you could measure that these heights are going to be the same on all sides. But I'm just going to use the block in this case. This leftover clay, you can re-wedge back into a ball, and just make sure you put it back into your bag so it doesn't dry out. next thing you want to do is probably just let these pieces sit here for about 10 to 15 minutes, just so they become a little bit stiffer, a little bit more leather hard, and they're able to hold their shape a little better. Okay, the next step is when you want to join these two pieces together, you're going to join them using a method that I call scoring and slipping. So scoring is making marks on your clay where you're going to attach the two pieces. So I'm going to attach the bottom of this slab to the top of that other slab. So I'm going to score both of the surfaces. I just use a pin tool and make some lines, some marks on the surface, just like that. And then you're going to use slip, which is basically just liquidy clay that has a lot of water added to it. And you're going to brush that, or you could use your finger and just add that to the surface of the clay. And it kind of acts like the glue that will hold it together. So done that. Attach the pieces together and just kind of wiggle them into place. You can use your fingers to smooth out any rough edges around the joint, or you could use a wooden stick tool and just kind of bring that together. If you're finding your two pieces aren't sticking together, you could use a coil or like a little snake of clay just at that joint to help hold them together. So now that you have your whole box scored and slipped together, it should look something like this. And that's your finished slab box project. So this project, marking wise, we're looking again for nice even wall thicknesses and nice smooth joints. So this is your technique mark that we're talking about. We'll also be marking form, which is your overall shape and design. If you wanted to change up this project a little bit, you could use a non-rectangular or a non-square base. So if you wanted to start with a circular base or a heart shape or whatever kind of shape you're looking for, you could do that as well and just use slabs to bring up the walls.